Okay, so in this Power Ranger Halloween special episode, it actually begins with the Rangers dress up in costumes and enjoy trick or treating. However, they were actually been ambushed by a monster named Verb 6, and the other six monsters, they actually call themselves the Gruesome Grunts. And the Rangers actually forgot their power stars because they actually left them back at the base, which they actually thought it was strange since there are actually six of them and seven monsters. However, Verse 6 actually has the ability to transfer the minds of the Rangers with the minds of the gruesome grunts, in which the Rangers are now inside of their bodies, while the gruesome grunts are inside the Rangers' bodies. And and there are actually some monster cameos that are actually, well, I like to call them guest stars, who actually from the previous Power Rangers seasons, and those two are actually escape, while the Mummy Guards actually appear to take him to the Halloween Intergalactical Court, which we actually realized that name before because that actually happened in Dino Supercharge, in which they actually took four of them. Well, actually, four of them, Levi, Preston, Calvin, and Haley, to the court, while the pumpkin judges, that's right, they're also back, or actually have the court in session. And also, as the bailiff is the court witch, in which they actually tell the story about how the Rangers found the Power Stars and the Prism, which the monsters inside of the Rangers' body actually tell them the story, but they're actually lying about it. In which we all know what will happen if they got 10 strikes. They will be destroyed. And that's exactly how the intergalactical court is actually the most toughest court there is. And since they knew about it, they actually keep on getting more strikes while inside of the Goose Grunts bodies. Meanwhile, Brody and Sarah inside the two members, they're actually went to Mick and Redbot, which they thought they were actually monsters, but they actually tell them who they are because they actually told them that when Mick is in the Lion Galaxy, his mother calls him Mickey Pooh, in which they're actually the real deal. However, Mick actually decided on a plan to save the others. But back at the court, they actually keep getting more strikes until the final strike happens, in which they're also getting ready to be annihilated. However, the other two and Verb 6 are actually came in, which they actually have Verb 6 to confess that he switched bodies, in which they also realize that they actually are the real ones, in which the pumpkin judges are actually been tricked again, just like how the monster who actually tricked them before. And so the court rich actually decided to switch the Rangers back into their original bodies, while the gruesome grunts have been defeated by the pumpkin judges, in which they apologize. But however, Rabbi actually told them that First Six, who actually been captured earlier, had escaped. And so the Rangers decided to morph and chase after them, which gave the pumpkin judges the permission to do that, in which they actually fight Verb Six, and they also defeated him with Brody transforming into the Lion Fire armor and using the Super Star Blade to defeat him, in which he actually made himself big, but he actually used his powers to shake up the Megazord and the Ultra Sword apart, which the Rangers decide to use their swords, because if they use a Mega Sword, they'll be completely broken up as well. And so they decide to use every sword available, which is the Astro, the Tux, and the Subserver swords, and they defeated Verb 6 with their swords. Meanwhile, the Rangers are enjoying their Halloween, in which they actually saw one of the pumpkin judges, but it's actually Mick in disguise, who actually dressed up as a giant bee, in which they decided to let him join the Halloween with them. And that is it. Okay, now we do know about the Halloween intergalactical Court, which came from Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. However, there are some monsters from the previous Power Rangers seasons. However, there are 3 monsters from this season, but however, there are actually some guest star monsters are actually appear in the episode, which is the monster from Power Rangers Dino Supercharge, Snapper from Jungle Fury, and of course Nikolai from Mystic Force. So they've actually been using a lot of monsters to create this episode, and they also been using the monster costumes to create this episode. I mean, to create the Gruesome Six. And I actually had to give them credit. They actually did a good job. And I actually impressed that they actually did. So yeah, I cannot wait for the next episode next Saturday. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment on what you think about the episode and the Halloween episode. And you guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Emmy Guy joining here saying sign out. Laters.